Welcome back to the Fierce and Femme podcast,
with your hosts, Rami and Alicia,
where we talk all things fitness, mindset, and everything in between
to help you become your most fierce and femme selves.
All right, welcome back. We are so excited to welcome our first ever guest on the podcast. She started out as a full-time personal trainer on the gym floor. Then COVID happened and she made the decision to pivot online coaching and ended up with a waitlist of over 400 women for one-on-one fitness coaching. She has since made over $1 million without paid ads, no sales scripts, no sales team, all through organic content.
She's got an online business community called Side Hustle to CEO with just shy of 100 women. She has both a business coaching business and an online fitness coaching business. She focuses on sustainable growth and is the co-host of the podcast Oi Let's Talk. And they just reached recently 1 million downloads. Welcome, Kate Morris.
Guys, that was a really good intro. Thank you so much.
We put a lot of effort into
Yeah, that was
it.
really good. That was a full synopsis of my life. I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks
Is there
for
anything
having
we
me.
missed?
Say again?
Is there anything we missed?
No, I feel like you guys covered it all.
Oh, amazing.
It's
Perfect.
like-
We did a little stalky stalk to get everything. Well, we want to kick it off with a few little quick fire questions. So random, fun. And the first one is, what makes you feel your most fierce?
Oh, this is a good question.
Yeah.
I think when I'm just being authentically myself.
Mm.
I think obviously the background that I come from is social media, being online. I feel like when you can really tap into who you are authentically, that's when I feel my most confident.
Yum.
Love.
And what makes you feel your most femme?
Oh, honestly, I am really masculine. If you guys follow me on socials, you would know. I never shut the hell up and I'm very masculine and I feel like you have to be when you own a business. There's push and pull. But honestly, my most feminine is when I'm just with my partner. I'm just a little
Oh, I love
princess.
that.
That's beautiful.
I don't want to do anything.
Oh,
He
that's
does
so
everything.
cute.
It's perfect.
You get to lay back and
Yeah,
relax a little
yeah.
bit. Cute. All right. What, if you could say one thing to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh, guys, you're really coming in hard with these questions. straight
Yeah,
off the
we
bat.
haven't even started.
I know, shit. Okay. I think the very cliche is you can do it. And I know that sounds really basic and probably not the best, most life-changing thing that I could say to myself. But I feel when you're younger, you're full of self-doubt.
Mm.
Your whole kind of, when you're growing up, you're full of can I do this? What ifs? If it doesn't work out, what if people don't like me? What if insert whatever? And it's just you can do it.
Yeah.
You just got to go hard for it.
Love.
What is one word to describe your current era?
Unbothered.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my word of the year.
That's so good.
Yeah. You know what? My word of the year is so funny because usually people would look at me and if you know me, you'd think disciplined, relentless, all of these really hectic words. And I was just unbothered.
Mm.
This is the year where I'm not pouring energy into things that don't propel me forward. And I'm really just doing that with every avenue of my life.
Such a
Love.
vibe. I loved that. What is one random fact about you that no one knows?
Or I feel everyone knows this because I posted about it, but I wear my socks inside out.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Me either.
Why? What the hell?
Just fall out
so
of myself.
random.
I have just done it since I was a kid.
Oh my
Really?
God.
It is so weird. If you ask my mum, she was you were a pain in my ass because I have this thing about the seams of socks touching my toes inside my shoes.
Yeah.
And I just really can't live like that. So I always wear my socks inside out, except for a couple of pairs of socks. I can wear the normal way. But usually if I'm wearing them the normal way, it's I'm trying to impress you so someone doesn't be your socks are inside out.
That is so random.
It's
Never guessed.
I feel I'm going to really pay attention to your content more now and be oh, she's got those socks inside.
yeah, legit. It's such a
I
thing.
love it. Amazing.
So good.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're going to, I guess we already asked you a few questions. We're going to dive deeper now into you and your life. But before we dive into your fitness coaching, your business coaching, our first question is, if you had to describe yourself to someone without saying what you do for work,
Mhm.
what would you say or how would you describe yourself?
Oh, that is a really good question. I would say I would describe myself as an action taker. Yeah. I would say that I am the person who, if I'm not talking about work, but just in general, I'm the person who will push people to take action in whatever that is, whether it's relationships, confidence, communication, work, fitness, whatever. I feel that would describe me. I'm an action taker.
I said it was a full circle because I remember at your retreat you asked me that ages ago. So I'm now it's on you to answer the question.
I'm in the hot seat. Payback, right?
All right. So, yeah. So I know you've got a massive year ahead. You've accomplished lots and lots of things. So I want to know, what is something you're most excited for this year? And then equally, what do you think might be your biggest challenge coming into this year?
I think the thing I'm the most excited for is the podcast. So like you guys said at the start of the episode, I have my own podcast and, you know, we've been working really, really hard behind the scenes on getting it to kind of take off. And if you're like in the social media world listening to this podcast, you know that podcasting is a different world. Like it's so different to content creation on socials. So we've been pushing really hard, you know, we've been posting an episode a week every single week for 2.5 years, and it's finally really got some traction. So I think my main focus this year is to really give that time, effort and energy and almost treat that like a business. I feel like not that we fucked around with the podcast. Can I swear on this?
Yeah,
Okay,
I say it all
I'm
the
just
time.
double checking. It's not that we like fucked around with the podcast, but I don't think we're taking it as seriously as we could. So this year it's more about like focusing on that, growing with the podcast and really pushing that. The biggest challenge I feel like I'm going to face is I'm nervous for the fact that I know it's going to do really well, which means it's going to stretch me in terms of my capacity and my time and what is required of me in that. But I feel like I've prepped myself really well in terms of my own businesses to really streamline those to allow more time, effort and energy into the podcast for 2026. So I feel a bit nervous because I'm like, I feel like this is going to really like go far, which is like exciting nerves. But I feel like I've prepped myself as well. So yeah.
We're so excited for you. We love your podcast. You're so
That makes me
inspirational.
It's goals.
Yay.
So this question, I feel like it resonates with me so much right now because I'm experiencing a lot of online hate. And I remember once you posted about this bloke making this hate reel about you. And if you're happy to share, I would love to know, or we would love to know, how you found out, what sort of thoughts and emotions were going through you. And then equally, you still show up every single day on your social media. So how did you not let that get to you so that you keep achieving your goals and doing the thing?
Yeah, love this question. So a little bit of a backstory. I had 3 hate videos made of
From
me.
the same person.
From the same
Oh
person
my
on
God.
the same Instagram account.
What a loser.
Yeah, it was very very crazy. But essentially I didn't know about it. So it had been shared around like 20 or 30 times. Like people had shared it around before somebody randomly, a girl that obviously followed me on social media, actually DM'd me and said, hey, just letting you know, I don't want to share the reel, but this account has been posting videos about you. Here you go. And she sent me the account and I went through and I watched it. Now, this account was not just hate against me. It was against a lot of other people online, people that went to my gym that I was going to at the time. It was literally a random account. And to be honest, and this is like full transparency, I watched those videos and I didn't have any reaction to it.
Wow.
And the reason, because none of it was true. Like he was picking apart the way that I look, my body, my business, what I'd achieved, what I hadn't achieved, calling me a liar, like all these things. But I know within myself, I'm in integrity. Like I'm not practicing outside of integrity. I'm not claiming to be somebody I'm not on social media. So I watched that and I was like, okay, like it's a waste of his time. Everyone that loves me was like angry. They were like, we're going to find who did this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, honestly, like I laughed about it because none of it was true. If there was truth to it, and I was like, I am lying or I am out of integrity, absolutely. Like I probably would have felt really hurt by it and felt like I needed to defend myself, but I didn't even care. I actually I left it and then eventually he kept making videos. So he had made 2 at the time or maybe 1. No, 2 at the time. And then he made another one and then I blocked him. So I was like, you're an idiot. And then we found out who he was. So all I got to say is every dog has its day, first and foremost. And then secondly, like when it comes to how you deal with online hate, I think something you need to understand is if you're opening yourself up to the world, so posting yourself on social media, you need to be okay with being misunderstood. And you also need to be okay with the fact that not everyone's going to like you. You know, there's probably people who watch my content and send it to their friends and go, this girl's a fucking idiot. But the reality is at the end of the day, those people are never going to be the people that will agree with me. And they're probably never going to be the people that would ever want to work with me anyways. And I feel like if you want to create change or you want to create momentum or you want to make something out of your life, whatever that looks like, you need to be okay with causing some kind of friction. Because if you're not willing to cause friction, no one's going to remember you. No one's going to agree with you. No one's going to disagree with you. It's just going to be very neutral, meaning that you're not really going to get anywhere. So I think it's part and parcel, and it's not something that you love. Like you're never going to go like, oh my God, I love getting hate online. But it is something that you kind of increase your capacity and tolerance to, and it gets easier. And usually speaking, you're not going to pop off overnight and get hundreds and thousands of people hating on you without anybody loving you. It's usually like something that happens a little bit, you increase your tolerance, you get a little bit more hate, you increase your tolerance, and then eventually it's like, who cares? And also as well, like the people that are doing the most are not pulling down other people.
Yeah.
It's the people that are the loudest, the people that are commenting, they're doing the absolute least. Like they're doing nothing with their lives and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Preach. Have you received any more online hate ever since those videos?
To be honest, I'm very lucky. No, like those videos were probably the first and kind of only time I've received hate. I get like random anonymous questions of people being, I would say like rude, but I wouldn't say that it's any open hate online. No, but I'm very lucky with that. Yeah.
And it's funny that you said they're anonymous questions too.
Always.
Like they're not putting their face in front of it. They're hiding behind that. I want to ask, because you have such a confidence to you, and I feel like even how you said when you saw that video, it didn't really faze you as much. What do you think contributed to that? Like, have you always been like that?
I would say I was naturally quite a confident person. Like my friends always joke, me and my dad have a really good relationship, and I would say that he's probably the person that like shaped me to who I am today. And my friends always joke of like you never had issues with like any men or any confidence issues because your dad like treated you like a queen. And I'm like, honestly, facts.
Yeah.
But I also think that like confidence is one of those things, and I've said this a million times before, you're not born with it. The only way to become confident is to follow through on the things that you say you're going to do and ultimately prove to yourself that you either can do those things, and that makes you become more confident. I think a lot of people think that confidence is something that you are born with and that you just magically walk into a job and you're super confident on that day. But the reality is you have to get outside your comfort zone first before you can prove to yourself you can do the hard thing, and then you become more confident in the long run. So I would say that honestly, I'm confident because I constantly push myself outside my comfort zone. I'm constantly the person who goes first, who does it when they don't know if it's going to work out, who pushes them or puts themselves into rooms that they feel really small in. And ultimately, I then get more like notches under my belt to prove to myself that like, okay, cool, you actually can do it.
Yeah.
And that leads me to be more confident.
Yeah. Love. We want to ask this a little bit of a selfish question. But
Go hard.
Your podcast has blown up. Like you said, it's a lot of years of work that's gone into it. But for, I guess, us who are just starting, and I guess anyone else out there who's starting a podcast and wants it to be as successful as yours now is, what advice would you give?
Number one, you need to be consistent. I feel like I said before, podcasting is a different world. Like it's so different to content creation and social media. And it is one of those things, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert on podcasting, but it is one of those things that you need to be consistent with. I think the statistic is like, I don't know 100%, but something along the lines of like most podcasts don't even make it to like the first 10 episodes because there's no instant gratification.
Yeah. It's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn, and like it's really, really easy in those moments where it feels like nobody's listening, no one cares, no one's liking or commenting or engaging with it, to just go, what's the point? And I think a lot of people do that with podcasting. They get in and they expect to get lots of views and lots of downloads and lots of listens, and they don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, as humans, we have a really poor relationship with getting instant gratification. If we don't get something straight away, fuck it, we give up, it's too hard. Can't be bothered, I'll pivot, I'll change, I'll do something different. And I think the biggest thing with podcasting is like being consistent and then also trying to have a point of difference, which is hard because obviously everyone's doing podcasting, everyone's creating content. But like, what do you guys want to be known for? When we kind of put a plan in place to blow up the podcast at the start of 2025, which I mean, we had a plan. Did we know if it was going to work? No, but it did. We both sat down and we were like, okay, what do we need to do differently? And we were like, okay, first and foremost, we need to be 100% ourselves on this podcast. Like no more filtering, no more holding back, no more, you know, filtering what we want to say. It's like, let's just say what we want to say, what we know works, and we'll find our people. And I think that really popped off. And then obviously looking at like, you know, metrics and data and things like that, which I love behind the scenes of how I could actually leverage different platforms that the podcast gets pushed on. So like being smarter with the way that you're, naming your podcast episodes. If you're on YouTube, are you like connecting with your audience and focusing on building an engaged community as well?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say consistency, point of difference, and then doing some research on like what works well for podcasting would also be a really good start.
What made you want to start? Because you started the podcast on your own,
Yeah.
I remember, ages ago. And then obviously Gemma has come along. I'd actually love to know a little bit more of like that journey, because that was very similar to us. I started it on my own and I was like, fuck, this is actually so hard on my own, because I was still doing shift work and doing everything all at once. And then she pitched and I was like, this is actually a fucking fantastic idea. So I'd love to know like your thought process or what you sort of experienced with that sort of story as well.
Yeah. For me, it was more, I guess like it was boring on my own. Like it was quite boring, and I constantly, and this is not to say that guests on podcasts, as I'm a guest on the podcast, is a bad thing. But personally for me, I really wanted to build a podcast and a community around either me or the person that I was co-hosting with, and not rely on having to have guests on.
Yeah.
Purely from an organization standpoint. And don't get me wrong, guests are still great and we still have them on our podcast. But it was like, if I'm by myself recording, I either need to like really motivate myself to do it, and I found it quite boring, or I need to constantly be organizing guests on a podcast. And then that's also really hard to do. It's like you're trying to navigate when that person's available. Are you doing it online? Are they coming over to your house? Because I was recording at my house at the time. Like multiple different moving parts. And then also in that, I wanted to kind of, me and Gemma were getting close at the time, and I love like the interaction. I work online. So I was like, this would be really cool if we do it together. And then I thought, why not just like join forces and then take over the world was the plan.
Oh, and it worked.
Yeah, literally.
I also find so much more interesting to listen to podcasts with two people, because everyone has different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Like even Rami and I sometimes will talk about things and the opinions are so different that you would never get that from just yourself as well, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Love. What question are we up to? Okay. So we're going to pivot away from podcasts into your fitness and business journey now. If you could go back to the start and more of like your personal journey, not the coaching, your own personal business journey and your fitness journey, is there anything that you would do differently?
Oh. No. And the reason I say no is because I feel like every decision that I've made, whether it was with my fitness journey, whether it was with my business journey, has led me to where I am today. And so many lessons have been learnt along the way. But if there was like one thing that I could pinpoint that I would have maybe paid more attention to, was like taking social media seriously. I think, I started my business, like you girlies said at the start, as a personal trainer on the gym floor. And I did that for 2 years. And I didn't post on socials. Like I had like, the account that I use now was just like a hobby, like an account for posting photos of me like traveling with my friends and things like that. And when I lost 80% of my business like overnight because of COVID, I was like pushed up against a brick wall essentially. I was like, well, I don't have a brand online. I don't even know how to post content. I don't know who the fuck I'm trying to speak to. Like I know none of it. And I think if I had spent those 2 years when I was employed on the gym floor actually putting effort into social media, I'd be 2, 5, 10 years ahead of myself than what I currently am now. And I just wish that I took that maybe a little bit more seriously. And look, at the time it was 2020. So like online coaching wasn't really a thing. Social media wasn't as big or
Which
nearly
is so
as big.
crazy now to think that.
Insane. But like it wasn't nearly as big as what it is today. But I just wish I took it more seriously, and I wasn't afraid to be like cringe or like doing something that was at the time really out of the box. So probably that.
When did that sort of click for you to be like, okay, I actually just am going to be my fucking self no matter what?
Well, I kind of had no option.
Yeah.
Like I really had no option. So I went from being a PT, literally overnight, the gyms were shut, COVID happened. I lost 80% of my business. And I was like, that's my full-time employment. I had just signed a lease, to move out with my friend for the first time out of my family home. So I had rent to pay. I had a car loan. And I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I'm not making enough money per week to pay those, to service those loans that I have and those bills that I have. And I remember crying on my bedroom floor, on my partner's bedroom floor, being like, I don't know what to do. I reapplied at Woolworths. I'm a Woolies girl. I used to work at Woolies when I was younger. I reapplied for Woolworths, for Coles, because I was like, I seriously need to get a job because otherwise, what do I do? And then I decided to do, I'm going to say one of the dumbest things, but it actually was one of the best things I did. I spent all of my savings, $6,000 that I had in my bank account. I borrowed $500 from my mom and I went into business mentoring with a business coach from not Australia, from Canada or America. And I was like, this better pay off because I have $20 left in my bank account right now and I've got all these bills and I have no clients. And then I just hustled for 3 months and I ended up doing what you guys said at the start, went from 10 clients to 110, waitlist of 400 people wanting to work with me, hired 4 staff members, 3 co-coaches, 1 full-time VA, and it just popped off. So yeah, I feel like I didn't really have a choice. I kind of just had to like do it and then figure it out in the process. But I hired help early because I was like, I actually don't know what I'm doing. Like online is not a thing in Australia. And I hired somebody who was already working online in America because like they're already 10 years ahead of us before anything happens here.
How quick was that the moment from, okay, the gyms are shut, COVID happened to, oh my God, I've got a wait list of 400 women. Like how? Because I feel like you've said before it was quite quick.
Yeah. So gym shut, I had no clients. I was like, what do I do? I was doing like PTing in a park for a little bit with like some of the clients that stayed on as like online, but then eventually you weren't allowed to do that. Like I think they took that away. It's all a bit of a blur, but from literally being like online to having a wait list of 400 people, just shy of 3 months.
Wow.
That is
And
wild.
I had no Instagram followers. I had 1,962 Instagram followers to be exact.
I love that you know the number.
I full remember because my partner had more than me. He had like 2,000 followers. I'm like, you don't even post on Instagram. What are you doing? I had no followers, but I really focused that time, energy, and effort in like learning marketing skills, learning how to speak to my ideal client, and also just building a engaged community. Like I woke up every Saturday, 9 a.m. for a full year, maybe even 2 years because COVID kind of happened on and off for a long period of time. Every morning, 9 a.m. running a Zoom class for everyone. I posted, originally it was just for my clients. Then I posted on Instagram and then lots of people kept coming to it. And I just like really knuckled down on if I can get people the best results, I can master my craft, I can learn how to leverage social media, it has to work. Like it's only a matter of time before it works. And word of mouth was the thing that grew my business, you know, like at the very start, I was focusing on just getting people insane results. I was a really good coach. I'm a really good coach. But at the time I was just doing PT. I was like, I can get people insane results. I just need to like leverage this. And as soon as that happens, they're going to tell their friends. Their friends are going to ask about it. And then that's what happened. People would post me on their story. Then their friends would follow me. Then their friends would inquire. And then, yeah, it just kind of erupted. And I had to hire staff when I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And yeah, it was a big learning curve, but it was really fun.
Yeah. I think that was probably the time I started following you because that was the start of my like PT journey. And what do you think at that time was the biggest lesson that you learned in all of that?
Oh, have better systems. I was using Google Sheets. I had like 110 one-on-one clients, which is just absolutely like you wouldn't catch me dead doing that now. But at the time, I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't. It was a 5-kilometer radius. I had nothing else to do than just work. And also like I'm a bit of a dog with a bone. Like I really love hard work and I really love a challenge. And like business to me is like it just like scratches a part of my brain, which I love. So working hard has never been a hard thing for me because I've always kind of been like that. That's just how I'm programmed. But I think probably the biggest lesson that I learned, was having better systems. I just had no systems, no operations in my business. I was completely winging it, using Google Sheets. Everything was like manual, where now a lot of my business is very automated, not too automated because I feel like if you do too much automation, you lose like the humanness behind the business. But a lot of my back-end systems are automated. So I feel like better systems would be the thing.
And then if we're to go into your fitness journey, because I feel like you talk so much about your business now that even following you for so long, what got you into your fitness journey at the start?
So originally, I'm a unit, right? I'm like 6 foot. I'm fucking huge, okay? I am tall. I'm a really tall girl. And at the start of my fitness journey, I weighed about 42 kilos. So I'm like 5'11", 10 and a half, 11, and I weighed 42 kilos. So I was quite underweight for my height. Now, this wasn't because of any disordered eating. It was more so because I lacked education and knowledge. And originally by trade, I'm actually a qualified nutritionist. So I started working in a clinic doing nutrition and working with like clients who were struggling with really serious health issues, heart issues, obesity, eating disorders, all of the things. And at that same time, I was really falling in love with weight training and getting into the gym. And my main goal was to just be strong.
Yeah.
Like I remember going into the gym on my first day, I couldn't even push 5 kilos on a chest press machine.
It's so humbling.
Like I was so weak. And, you know, I grew up with an older brother, and I feel like my older brother was always just like, you're weak, like you can't lift anything. And I was like this tiny little string bean. So I had this like real fixation at getting strong, and I really wanted to like build more muscle mass and grow my glutes and like actually get into the gym and feel like powerful, not just like in my mind, but also physically.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where I started. And then I was working as a nutritionist and I hated that job. I hated working in an office. I was like, this cannot be my life path forever. Had no idea or ever wanted to own a business. Like that was never my goal. I literally got into being a PT not even knowing that I was owning a business. I was like, I'm just going to go coach some people. Like this will be fun. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then, yeah, it kind of started from there. But I feel like, yeah, my journey was very much a strength building, weight gaining journey.
Yeah. Cool. Because you hear a lot of the opposite of people losing heaps of weight as well. Even in that with nutrition, do you feel like you just picked that randomly going into uni, or was there something that like it really, you were passionate about it, picking that as well?
To be honest, not really. I feel like it was a bit random. So I don't know if I've really spoken about this much, but I have a mild heart condition. It's called SVT. Anyone that's listening probably has heard about it before, but it's not a life-threatening heart condition, but it was something at high school that really like fucked with me. So for like the last 2 or 3 years of high school, I was in and out of hospital quite a lot with SVT flare-up and like figuring out what was going on.
Yeah.
And I think in those like 3 years of being unwell, I kind of really wanted to switch my focus in my health. Now, in terms of picking nutrition, I feel like that was random, but from a perspective of health, I was like, oh, maybe that would be something that I could learn more about because I'm kind of interested in it. But I didn't really have, when I went into uni, like a pathway or a career or something that I had in mind. I kind of was just like, well, I've been sick for like 2 to 3 years here. Could I just learn more about like overall health and see where that kind of takes me? And also I was like a sporty-ish kid. Like I loved health at school, but it wasn't really like I could see a career out of it. Yeah.
And then look at now, like you're still PTing, nutrition, everything.
Yeah.
So cool.
How did you know, or when did you know that you wanted to get into business coaching?
Oh, I don't even think I even knew that I wanted to do it. It kind of just found me. So originally I got reached out to by La Trobe University to help mentor dietetics and nutrition students when they're graduating their degree. I was trying to think of the word. What do you do when you finish a degree? When you graduate, right? So I started kind of mentoring them and I was like, oh, like this like mentorship thing's really cool. Like maybe it could be something that I do. And at the time, like business mentoring again was not as big as what it is today. And then people started like catching on that my business was doing well, and people DM me and be like, hey, like could I pay you to like get coffee, or like could I pick your brain? Like how are you getting clients? How are you getting leads? And then I was like, maybe there's something in this.
Wow.
And then it kind of just naturally evolved. And then I was so afraid of failing. So I had like a huge, huge issue with like fear of failure, fear of judgment on social media. Originally, when I made that pivot from being just your fitness coach to now doing what I do now, I was so afraid that people like, she's a liar, she's going to be a flop, this is never going to work. I had a lot of fear around that. And it took me 2 years before I launched it. Like I spoke about doing it. I was mentoring students. I was like mentoring random people on social media, but I wasn't ever posting about it because I was just so afraid that it was either going to fail or people would just judge me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, coaches can be toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
No offense. Like I feel like everyone just, especially in Australia, tall poppy syndrome, you just want to cut people at the fucking knees. You can't ever celebrate what somebody else is doing without making it mean something about yourself. And it's this whole thing. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to post about it in case people think that I'm like a liar or this or that or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just send it. Or, like I'm just, all I'm doing is robbing people of the opportunity to learn the skills that I know or me being able to help them. And I really just had to get over that.
Yeah. Is that what sort of got you through that fear of failure and that fear of judgment?
Yeah. And like a lot of mindset work. Like I hadn't done any of that. I hadn't really dabbled in mindset stuff when I started my business. I was very much just like upskilling as a personal trainer, like nutrition, training, all of the things that you need to become a really good coach and get really great results. But then I got to the point where I was like, okay, like, you need to kind of figure out more in depth about the way that you think and potentially your downfalls as a person and work on that if you want to be able to be a better coach, especially if you want to help people with business. Helping people with business is very emotional. It's very full on. And if I can't be like a regulated fucking person, how am I going to help a client who's dysregulated when something's not working in their business, it's not paying off, etc.?
Love. I've got a question. I'm loving your social media audits at the moment.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I know they've been blowing up. What do you think is something that people get wrong when it comes to social media? Because I know you now do like your content, ebook and everything like that, and you're so passionate about social media. So what would be the number one thing you see there?
I have so many things.
Yeah, nice.
You can give us a few if you want to.
Okay, so I think the number one thing, and it's not just social media, I'm going to speak to it in like business as whole. Like even if you're doing like UGC content, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to become an influencer. I feel like people flip and flop and they change what they're doing way too frequently that nothing sticks.
Yeah.
So if you are not known for something, you're easily forgettable, especially with like how much content people actually consume. It's like if you are one day a fitness coach, then you're doing mindset, then you're doing this, then you're doing that. It's like, it's the whiplash and people get really confused. And as soon as someone's confused, they stop engaging with you. They'll find somebody else that like attracts their attention with the problem that they're currently facing. Yeah. And they'll start focusing on that person and they'll either just forget about you, unfollow you, or it'll take them a really long time to circle back. So I feel like people make the mistakes of like flip-flopping instead of just like knuckling down and practicing delayed gratification, essentially.
Yeah.
The second thing I feel like people do is like way too vague in their content or they just copy what everyone else is doing. Like if I see one more fucking RDL demonstration, I will actually throw my phone out a fucking window. Like, guys. And it's crazy because I feel like people really tie their identity to being what their profession is. So like if I'm a PT, for example, everyone's like, well, I have to make sure that everyone knows that I know how to do a form correction video and they just copy what everyone else does. And it's like people, like your buyer does not buy on fact. They buy on feeling. So if you're not explaining how you can either help solve their problem, the feeling they're going to have, they're just going to scroll past you. Like they've seen 15 other RDL demonstrations today. I can absolutely guarantee it. What makes you stand out is not the fact that you know how to do an RDL and you're queuing it. It's the fact that you're going to, tie a feeling to why it's important to do that, for example. So I feel like people are just very vague in their content. They're too flippant. They swap and change way too much and they want it now. Like business is hard, guys. Like it is so hard. It is going to test you, try you, stretch you. You're going to have failure after failure after failure before you have one fucking win. And when you can understand that business is a volume game, you're going to have to be, if you want to sign one client, you're going to have to get 10 no's before you get one. It's just the way it is. But everyone gets one no and they think, fuck this, too hard, I'm out. It's like if you had a bit more grit, if you had a bit more resilience, you would actually be way ahead of yourself instead of stopping and starting and chopping and changing all the time.
What keeps you going when you have those really hard moments or those what the fuck moments or if you ever have those I'm going to throw the fucking towel in moments?
Yeah.
What's your why? Like what really keeps you going?
I'm going to answer this two ways. Firstly, is like when I'm in the trenches and I'm like, this is fucked and I want to quit. It's like, this is going to be a really good story I can tell.
I love saying that.
A really good story. Like every story that you guys probably say I posted on social media, like losing 80% of my business. Do you not think I was like, I cannot rebuild this? Like this is fucked. I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, there's no way I can do this. I do not have it in me. Worked like for 2 years to build my business to full time for it to be taken away from me like that. I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like there's no way. But then I was like, that's the story I tell now. And it makes like my resilience way more. It makes everything that I do 10 times more important because I've had it taken away from me really, really quickly, right? I know how important it is to build something that's sustainable and secure, and that's why I always bang on about it. The second part, what was your question again?
I don't know. I was just sorry.
I feel
so
in.
I was like, wow, you're like an angel to my left. I don't remember the second part of my question.
I'm trying to remember as well.
Wait, what keeps you going? What's your why?
What's your why?
What's your why?
And then I guess I was like so into my own story.
I know. I was like, damn, I was feeling it. I was there with you
honestly,
when your business broke
sometimes I
down.
black out. Like I'll be speaking, I full black out. The other part of my why is like, you know, all of these lessons that I've learned, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment. It's like, I know if I go first, I'm helping other women do the same. And it's like, I know that people probably look at me and they think you're a fucking loser, you're a flop, you're arrogant, you're cocky, you talk too much, you're really direct, all of these things, right? But I also know that by me doing that, it's a permission slip for other women to fucking do it and go after it. And
Totally.
also, as much as it's like you want to share certain things on social media, I also have a really big part of me. It's like the less that I share, the less women are going to see what's actually available to them. And when I think about like, you know, building a business and having financial security as a female, that's so fucking important. And I know, look, lots of people talk about this online of like being a trad wife and staying at home and not working. And some days I think, fuck, come on, buy me a beautiful house by the beach and I'll retire. It'd be perfect. But also like I'm not naive to the fact that, you know, marrying a guy is not a financial plan. And I think a lot of women fall into that trap. And then I'm not saying that this is for everyone, so relax, don't come at me. But a lot of people fall into the trap of, you know, I'll just have my partner pay for everything and then they get divorced and they're fucked financially. And, you know, women in Australia, less than 50 years ago, couldn't even, maybe less, I can't remember, couldn't even open a bank account without a man signing off on it. It's like, and you're telling me you don't want to fucking work? Like, come on. So for me, it's more like the more that I show up, the more that I face my fears, my failures, fail in front of people don't like me, whatever. I'm a permission slip for one woman to go after it. Like if I can do it, literally I grew up in a very comfortable home with a small family, didn't come from money. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I really, really believe in that. So whenever I'm feeling like I can't do this, it's not worth it, fuck this, there's no point. It's like, nah, I've got to do it because there's women watching me who are like waiting for me to do something and I just need to do it. You know what I mean? Like I can't not.
So much.
I can't not.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I have a question about, do you have any big Delulu goals that you want to let us in on? What are your plans for the future?
Tell me your life goals.
I love that.
To be honest, I feel like no, I don't have any like massive Delulu goals. I would say more so this time of my life is, I guess, just like taking the podcast to the next level, like I said before, and then just investing my money. I'm really in like my investing journey at the moment in like properties and stocks and shares and things like that. Me and my partner have a goal to buy another property this year, but I would say that's like really it. I don't really have any big Delulu goals. The only other thing I'm like focused on doing is growing my business community at the moment, growing the podcast. But I'd say like they're not like crazy delusional goals. I'd say like they're achievable because I know I'm going to do it. It'll be fine.
Love that. Was it my turn?
I think
Your
so.
turn?
I don't know. We just fucking went on a tangent.
We went on a bit
amazing.
of a tangent.
I was like, yeah, nice.
All right. Oh, what is something that people underestimate the importance of when running a business?
Underestimate the importance of, I would say, oh, there's so many things, guys. Okay, let's say one of them, I would say actually nurturing the clients that they're currently working with. I feel like growing a business is so important, right? Like you want to grow your business, you want to scale, you want to get more leads, all of the fun things. But also a lot of people do that and then they forget to reply to their clients that are paying them. What the freaking hell? So I would say like, yes, it's important to have goals to grow your business, but you also need to have a really high level of service for the current people who are paying you. Because if you don't have them, you have no business. So I think a lot of people jump ahead and they like want the big cash months, the big goals in their business, but then they forget about the clients that they're currently working with. Or the second thing that I would say is that a lot of people just don't want to work hard and they try to avoid the trenches. And what I mean by that is like, you know, you look at people online and you see that they're doing so well and they're successful and whatever, but you're only watching like this tiny little snippet of their life right now. You haven't seen what they've done 10 years prior to get to where they are. And I feel like people try to skip that. They go from being, you know, they don't have a business, they don't have any clients. And then they're like, well, I want to make $15,000 a month. And it's like, yeah, you will. But like you also have to go through all of this shit to get there first. And I feel like people don't want to have that middle ground. They just want to go from starting a business, getting all the clients, and then they're successful. But it doesn't work like that. It's like you need to kind of go through the trenches and you need to learn all the lessons and you need to, pivot and adapt and do all the things you need to do. And I think that middle ground is like, they don't want to work hard. They don't want to have the delayed gratification. They want everything right now. And they try to skip it. But it's like, you can't skip that. And even if you do skip it, you'll skip it for a month and then you'll be like rudely pulled back down to reality. And then you'll have to start again from sub-zero. Like it'll always catch up to you.
Yeah. I think it's hard too because social media, everything you see is the 10 clients in a day or week or whatever, and you don't see the parts where people share where it is like you lost the 80% of your business because usually people are sharing it after the fact and not when they're in the trenches moment too. So it's like the highlight reel that we always see from everyone as well.
100%.
I want to know, where do you get your creativity for your content? Because there's obviously a lot of people that use chat and AI and all that jazz. And I feel like your content is fucking amazing all the fucking time. So I would love to know, where do you get your inspiration or your creativity from?
I really, really try incredibly hard to limit the amount of content that I consume. And I'm really particular in who I consume content from. And I really, if I'm consuming more than I'm creating, we have a problem, because that's when you start regurgitating and that's when you start not being creative with your content or feeling like content's really hard. So number one rule is like limiting my screen time and always creating more than I'm consuming. And then secondly is like not being afraid to just say what I think. I watch a lot of people, like if me and you like are sitting here today and we're having a conversation and these mics weren't here, it's like you might say something and you're like, oh, I could never post that. It's like, we'll post that. Because like I can guarantee you that's the exact opinion or the exact piece of content that's probably going to do really well because it's 100% you. Yeah. I feel like everyone gets a lot of really great ideas and then they go to ChatGTP or they get ChatGTP to script shit and it doesn't even sound like them and it's robotic. And I use ChatGTP, don't get me wrong, I think it's great for like solidifying things. And if I'm trying to write an email and I'm like, oh, this sounds really clunky, like could you make it sound better? For sure. But if you're going to ChatGTP with no idea, is that even how you say it?
I think it's GPT.
It's okay. Honestly, everyone's going to roast me for that. No, I say it all the time and Gemma's always like, you're saying it wrong. I'm like, whatever. She's going to listen to this and be like, you dickhead. Anyways, AI, using chat. Let's just say chat.
2 other letters. That works.
Anyways, using AI, it's like that's robotic and people can see it. Like I see it straight away. Like I can tell straight away that you've used AI 100%. And it's like, why are we so afraid to just like lean into our own personality? Like we're afraid obviously in case we get hate or whatever. But like I said before at the start of the pod, it's like you have to be able to create a little bit of friction to be remembered. And it's not about being controversial or saying the most fucked up shit on the internet, but it's more like about how could I put my own spin on it and use my own language and my own tonality and be okay with being seen online as well. And also I know my ideal client like the back of my hand because I was my ideal client and I know all of the feelings. I know how hard it was to build my business from scratch. I know like business was not easy for me, like cool, I like popped off, but it was hard. Like all of it's hard. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in upskilling and mentorship and hiring people to get where I want to be in a quicker time frame. And I just know, I know all the feelings because I felt all the feelings. So I feel like that helps me with my content too.
Yeah. What would be your advice to someone who's on the fence about hiring a business coach?
I would say you don't have to. Which is probably not what you guys are expecting.
I love that's honest.
Yeah, I would say you absolutely can build a business on your own, like absolutely, but just know it's going to take you 10 times longer. Like
true.
You can do it. It's like losing weight, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do it. We know how to do it. There's podcasts, there's this podcast, there's books, there's Google, there's AI now. Like you can do all of that. But you're probably still not going to show up. You're probably going to be inconsistent. You're probably going to make excuses. You're probably going to avoid things. So if you know that you're that person, actually investing in somebody to help hold you accountable and time collapse. So instead of you making the same mistake over and over and over again, that somebody else goes, don't do that. I've done it before and it's not going to work well. You avoid it. And for me and everyone wants more time. Right? What do we all complain? We don't have enough time. There's not enough hours in the day. It's like, well, no brainer. If I can pay you 10 grand and you're going to help me get a result in a year, or if I did on my own, it'll take me 10 years, I'm going to pay the 10 grand because in that year I could make X amount of money, sign X amount of clients, lose X amount of weight in a shorter time frame and learn way quicker. So it's like you don't need to hire a coach. You absolutely can do it on your own. But I think if you are the person who wants to do something that is out of the average, so not normal and delusional, and build the life that makes you feel really good or the body that makes you feel really good, whatever it is, it's like, why would you not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Otherwise you
Totally.
can just waste a lot of time.
Love that. Shall we get into our community question?
Yeah.
So we're going to, when we've got our guests, give our community the opportunity to ask you a question. So this has come from Hayley, and she wants to know what has been the highlight of your business journey so far, and then equally what has been the most challenging part of your business journey.
Oh my God, this is good, guys. So many good questions. I would say the highlight is just like impacting women's lives from all over the world. Like it's really fucking surreal that I coach women from like Hawaii,
Wow.
America, Canada, Germany. Like, what do you mean?
That's so cool.
Like it's
That's
insane.
awesome.
And also like just watching other women succeed, there's no better feeling. Like when I've helped someone and they're like, oh my God, like even just one thing changed X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh my God, like this is just, that feeling never goes away. And that's always going to be a career highlight or a business highlight. The most challenging time is probably like, I would say in 2024, 2025 was like really stepping into who I am as a person, like outside of business, and like allowing that to come across on social media, and then being okay with being misunderstood. You know, like people make like content about me all the time. I see it all the time. It's like I am okay with that, but I had a really hard time being like, oh, if I say this and like, what if someone thinks this of me, and really trying to like protect this external image. And then I was like, you know what? What's the point of that? Like people are going to hate me. They're going to love me. It's actually none of my business. Yeah.
Love that.
Love. Well, our final question is, if you could give our listeners one piece of advice, whatever it is, what would that be?
Oh, guys. One piece of advice would be what I would tell my younger self. Like, you can do it and just fucking go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, nothing. Like, it doesn't work out, you're going to be in the same position that you're currently in right now, which, yes, it's not ideal, but it's not life-threatening. Like, you're all good. You know, if you launch the business and it doesn't work, you can get another job. It's totally fine. It might be like a crush to the ego, but it's okay. And just, yeah, go for it. Like, without sounding too morbid, but you literally have one life. It's like, are you going to waste this one opportunity you get because you're afraid of what your ex-boyfriend's little sister's auntie says online? Like, really? It's like you really just need to just work hard for it. You can do it. Go after it. And really just put your blinkers on. I think as soon as you get distracted, as soon as you start asking people for opinions or you get too caught up in social media, that's when you start second guessing yourself. It's like, if you had the idea originally, you can do it, but you just need to like go for it.
Love it.
Is that good advice?
Yeah,
that was
that
fucking
great
fantastic.
advice.
Okay, great.
Literally. I mean, this is why we've both invested in you before, and I currently still do. Like, you're literally amazing. We love you so much.
That's so
Yeah, thank you
nice.
so much for being our first ever guest.
Yay.
Like, such a full circle moment. Where can everyone find you on socials?
Yes, so just at the Kate Morris on Instagram, and then my podcast as well, which is Oi Let's Talk.
Love.
Yay,
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thanks for having me, guys. That was so fun.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening.
If you're on Spotify, don't forget to give us a follow and rate us 5 stars.
And if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment down below.
We'll be back in your ears next week.
Bye.